Noong kapanahunan ng ating Panginoon Jesucristo, ang kanyang mga katunggali ay ang mga eskriba at pariseo. The scribes and the Pharisees were always looking for reasons to do him in. They persecuted him, and actually they were instrumental in crucifying Jesus on the cross. They did not accept his teachings, and much more, they did not accept that he was in fact the Son of God. And so in today's gospel, a lawyer, an expert in the law, tried to test Jesus. A rabbi in the time of Jesus is someone who claims to know the revealed teaching, the guidance and instructions in the Torah, the Old Testament. The Torah consists of 5 books, the Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. A rabbi is someone who knows by heart, like the palm of his hand, these 5 books of the Old Testament. And so he wanted to test Jesus and ask him which is the center, the essential, the most important of all the laws in these 5 books. A rabbi also belongs to a religious group called the Pharisees, and the Pharisees popularized these teachings, Old Testament teachings, because they were experts in the law. Out of the 10 commandments, they expanded them into so many minor laws. And so people or their followers were so hard up memorizing and much more fulfilling all the demands of these so many laws. And so Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who are heavily laden with so many laws, and I will give you rest. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. And learn from me, for I am gentle and humble of heart." And so when this rabbi asked Jesus which one is the most important, Jesus quoted from Deuteronomy 6:5. "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And secondly, love your neighbor as yourself." The scribes and the Pharisees, more often than not, put so much importance on the love of God. They thought that love of neighbor was inferior. And so Jesus wanted to put these 2 commandments together on equal footing, because from the point of view of Jesus, the genuine, concrete manifestation of your love for God is if you also genuinely, sincerely love your neighbor. It was a new development for the scribes and the Pharisees. And for Jesus, love is not only an idea, but it involves willing and doing. It is a commitment, a covenant fidelity. And so, the Saint Luke in his gospel also talk about this encounter of Jesus and the lawyer. But in the version of Saint Luke, the lawyer wanted to justify himself, and he said, "And who is my neighbor?" And so in that context, Jesus told him the parable of the Good Samaritan, who, as a victim, fell in the hands of robbers while he was going from Jericho to from Jerusalem to Jericho. And a priest saw the victim but went on the other side. A Levite saw the victim and yet did not lift a finger to help this wounded victim. It was only a Samaritan, a pagan, despised by the Jewish people, who had the heart, and like Jesus, he was moved with pity and compassion, and he took care of the wounded victim. Jesus called him the Good Samaritan, and he instructed the lawyer, "Go and do the same," to be compassionate as our Heavenly Father is compassionate. And so what does compassion mean from the point of view of Jesus? It means many things. You can see that in Luke 6:27 to 36. Love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you. And pray for those who mistreat you. Give to the one who asks. And if anyone has taken something from you, do not demand it back. Do to others as you would have others do to you. Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Give, and it will be given back to you in full measure. Then, Jesus says, your reward will be great. You will be called sons and daughters of the Most High. And he said, be merciful, just as your Father is merciful. Just as that Good Samaritan was compassionate and merciful to the wounded victim. And so for Jesus, love is not only an idea, a fuzzy feeling, but it is an action. It is a commitment. In the last days of Steve Jobs, the billionaire, he was dead at 56. He was the chief operating officer of Apple. He had this to say while suffering on his deathbed: I have reached the pinnacle of success in business. In other people's eyes, my life is a success. However, aside from work, I've had little joy. At the end of the day, wealth is just a fact I have gotten used to. Right now, lying on my hospital bed, reminiscing all my life, I realize that all the recognition and wealth I took so much pride has faded and become meaningless in the face of imminent death. Material things lost can be found again, but there is one thing that can never be found when it is lost: life. Whatever stage of life we are currently at, in time we will face the day the curtain closes. And he continued, love your family, spouse, children, and friends. Treat them right, cherish them. Your true inner happiness does not come from material things of this world. When you have relatives, family, friends, brothers, sisters, these are the real happiness. Love them, cherish them. Today, in our gospel, Jesus asks us to be compassionate as our Heavenly Father is compassionate. Please all rise.